Today, I'm going to talk about everything that you need to know about the VA loan. Stay tuned. Hi, my name is Malcolm Lawson. I'm a Maryland real estate agent and an 11-year Air Force veteran, and I put out videos all about Maryland and real estate. So if you're interested in either of those things, make sure you subscribe and hit that little bell icon to stay current on my latest content. Here in Maryland, I work with a lot of service members who use the VA loan to purchase a home, so I thought I'd put together a video explaining everything that you need to know about the VA loan. So first I want to clear up a common misconception about the VA loan. You can use a VA loan with any lender or bank out there. The VA is not actually issuing you a loan, instead they're guaranteeing the loan to the lender. So if you default on that loan, the VA will recoup the lender any money that they may have lost. So obviously you've probably heard that the largest benefit of the VA loan is that it's zero down, compared to an FHA loan, which requires 3.5% down in order to qualify for the mortgage, or a conventional loan that can range anywhere from 5% down to qualify for it up to 20% down. So you don't have to put anything down to qualify for the loan. However, there are still expenses involved in buying the property. Whenever you buy or sell a property, you have something called closing costs. And these are various taxes and fees by the state and by the county imposed on both the buyer and the seller. So the seller typically is responsible for about 7 to 7.5% of the purchase price in closing costs just to sell the home. And the buyer is usually responsible for about 3% of the purchase price in closing costs. Now, there is a way to negotiate to have the seller contribute towards your closing costs or pay all of your closing costs. So let's say you want to buy a house for $300,000 and your closing costs are going to be about $10,000. You could bring that out of pocket, or you could offer the seller $310,000 to buy their house and have them give you $10,000 back at closing, and this will go towards your closing costs. And this is actually a pretty common practice. Probably about half of my transactions, the sellers are somehow contributing towards the buyer's closing costs. Especially with VA loans, it's not uncommon for me to get my clients into a house with zero money out of pocket. Now, there are other expenses involved, such as your home inspection. And home inspections here in Maryland usually range between $300 and $500, and this money is non-refundable. So even if you somehow back out of the deal, you still have to pay that home inspector for the services that he rendered for you. Now, the VA loan also has what's known as the VA funding fee, and this is typically rolled into your mortgage, so you don't have to pay this out of pocket at closing. The first time that you use your VA loan, this funding fee is going to be 2.15% of the purchase price. Any subsequent times that you use the VA loan in your lifetime after that, the VA funding fee is 3.3%. And once again, this is usually added on to your loan. So another benefit to the VA loan is that there's no private mortgage insurance, known as PMI. So many other loan programs require the borrower to take out insurance against that loan in case the borrower defaults on it, especially if the borrower has poor credit. However, with the VA loan, since the VA is backing and guaranteeing that loan to the lender, private mortgage insurance is just not necessary. VA loans are also much more flexible with the buyer's financial needs, especially in regards to the debt-to-income ratio and their credit score. So if you don't have the best finances, you may not qualify for an FHA or a conventional loan, but you may still qualify for a VA loan. Now, there are some restrictions to the VA loan. One is that it has to be used to purchase your primary residence. So at the time of purchase, it has to be your primary residence. Now, there is nothing stopping you, though, from moving out at a later time and turning that property into a rental property. This is actually what I did with my first two properties. I bought a home in Annapolis, Maryland. I then moved out of that home and moved on to base and turned that into a rental property, then moved off base and purchased my second property, which was my primary residence at the time of purchase. So this allowed me to purchase two properties, both with zero money out of pocket. Now, there are people out there who will tell you that you can't buy more than one property with a VA loan, and they're absolutely wrong. There's something known as your VA entitlement, and your VA entitlement is simply the maximum amount of a VA loan that you can have out at one time. And it is possible to have that spread out over multiple properties. So currently in 2019, the standard VA entitlement is $484,000. However, there are many areas in the United States that have higher than average living costs. And in these areas, they've actually increased your VA entitlement. If you do a quick Google search for the maximum VA entitlement, the VA's website will pull up, and on there you can find a spreadsheet that breaks down every single county in America and what the maximum entitlement is for that county. So as an example, the standard VA entitlement is $484,000. However, in Anne Arundel County, the maximum VA entitlement for 2019 is $726,000. And once again, that's because we have higher property values here and is higher than average living cost. So since my first property that I bought was $210,000 and the second property that I bought was $250,000, combined, they're both lower than my maximum VA entitlement. Now, there are some ways to free up your VA entitlement. As you're making your mortgage payment and you're paying down your debt to your bank, that is automatically freeing up some of your VA entitlement. If you were to refinance your home with a conventional loan rather than a VA loan, that would also free up your VA entitlement. Finally, if you sold your home, that would free up your VA entitlement. So your VA entitlement is just the maximum amount you have out at one time. Hey, if you have orders to an assignment here in Maryland, I want you to do me a favor and open up Facebook and search for PCSing to Maryland. That's a Facebook group that I created to help service members who are PCSing assignments here in Maryland. If you're already assigned here in Maryland or you have been assigned here in the past, feel free to join as well, just so that you can provide advice to any newcomers that are PCSing to Maryland. So it's time for the question of the day. I'm really curious to know, what assignment are you stationed at right now, or what was the last assignment you were stationed at while you're in the service? I want you guys to leave your answer down in the comment section below this video. I'll tell you the last assignment that I was at was Bolling Air Force Base inside Washington, D.C. as the best assignment of my life. If you're new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe. I put out weekly content all about Maryland and real estate. Thanks so much for watching. I'll have links down in the description below to where you can find my PCSing to Maryland Facebook group. I'll see you guys over in the next video.